To begin with, I mean, does Davos feel different this year than last year in terms of the mood?
Mood, I think slightly better in that I think people believe in general that things are not going to get any worse, and therefore that the future means that things will get better, will bounce from here, and that both in Europe as well as the United States and Japan, all in the big Western economies, are going to start moving forward. But everyone realizes this, now in the fourth year of this so-called crisis, the real crisis, that this is not something that's going to go away quickly. That volatility is a part of the world. Climate change is something that we all have to deal with. Volatility in commodities is something we've got to deal with. Exchange rate fluctuations is something that we've got to deal with. News in the way it travels is something that we've got to deal with. It's a volatile, complicated world that we are all entrusted with. But the other thing that's excited me about Davos this year, unlike other years, is that for the first time, a group called the Young Global Shapers have joined Davos. This, I think, is significant. It's a group under 28, under 30, mostly courageous entrepreneurs from all nations of the world. And we listened to that group yesterday. I spent an evening with that group. You learn so much. We owe it to ourselves to listen more to that generation, their view of the world, their expectations of the future of the world and their own future, and what they expect from governance and from our system, our models in the world are different. Sure. And we need to have them participate more in the conversation. Right. And that's, to me, a big positive. Yeah. And I'm very honored that my company, my system, is one of the first supporters of that initiative, the Global Shapers. They're now in 200 hubs all around the world, and they will contribute measurably, I think, to the conversation.
You talk about the sort of a more optimistic mood. I mean, a year ago there was a lot of fear here. That's largely gone.
I don't think it is right to say it's gone. I think apprehension, maybe a slightly different word than fear, is there, for sure, because it's fragile. So think of it as walking on ice that isn't too secure. But I think everyone expects the ice to hold.
Well, that's comforting. That's very funny. I was talking to someone at J.P. Morgan yesterday who said we've gone from cautious to cautiously optimistic, and she said I think we're almost at optimistic, but maybe you're not quite there yet.
Look, I think when you have youth unemployment in the world standing at 40+%, when you have still a lot of businesses, governments trying to provide fiscal solutions, and when you still have governments and business and civil society not fully collaborating, which we need much more. I call that the golden triangle.
Right.
Providing solutions to some of the issues, societal problems, economic problems of the world, unemployment. And when youth unemployment sits at that level, I think there's always a danger that the social fabric may actually crack. You can't have the youth of this world's 40%, a number like that, where they are unhappy because they can't work. That is not a solution. That cannot sustain itself. Yeah. So therefore, where are the solutions? What do we all need to do more differently to provide solutions to that unemployment problem? Right. How can we engage youth better and more to provide a better path to their success, a better path, a clearer path to their success? How can we reform our education quicker, not over the very long term, but quicker all around the world, to provide a better fit between the gap in capabilities and where the capabilities are required. So we've got all these issues that we all need to, and Davos is not a place where decisions are made. Davos is a place where the agenda is shaped.
Yeah.
And but I think that everyone recognizes that we need to provide quicker, better, more action-orientated solutions.
Let me ask you, just speaking of trying to come up with solutions in terms of the United States, I mean, there was, yesterday the Congress put off a decision on the debt ceiling. How does that affect the economy ultimately?
It's very simple. If there's no clarity, the economy is affected. And there is no, until there's the fiscal reform matter is solved, debt ceiling, the whole fiscal reform, then there will still be a lot of haze, fog, and business doesn't like that. People don't like that. Small businesses don't like that. Investment doesn't like that. Banking doesn't like that.
So there's nothing good about it.
There's nothing good about fog and mist. And therefore we need solutions to provide more clarity. And I believe they will come. I believe everyone knows that's what's needed. And everyone knows that the brinkmanship has to end, and we have to collaborate, cooperate, and provide lasting solutions, not only to the fiscal, but also to tax reform, 21st century tax reform, also to immigration, also to infrastructure. And when we get those right, I believe that the United States, which is the youngest, most diverse, courageous population with initiatives, innovation in the world of Western nations, the youngest population in the world of Western nations, the most diverse, is going to absolutely come out of this current sort of economic stalemate and provide the path to growth in the world.
Well, there's two last things I want to get to, but one is just, what shape do you think, if you solve the whole problem of Washington, what shape is the U.S. economy in right now?
I think actually housing is beginning to show signs of buoyancy, of coming out of its stalemate and its past 4 or 5 years of decline. And I believe housing is a very important industry. I think that the United States is ready to bounce back. Innovation, information, innovation, creativity is there. And I do believe that currently people want to hear that that there is that clarity. They want to see that there is that clarity, so they can actually. There's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
With interest rates where they are, there's a lot of potential to channel funds into investment that would then create growth, that would then create employment again.